in overtime. 4th down and 14. The ball placed down at the 36-yard line, right hash mark. Aaron Bates will hold. Alex Shackleton will snap. Dan Conroy with the biggest kick of his life. Oh, they'll fake it. Bates throws it.
He's got him!
And wide open. He's got Charlie Gant inside the 10. He can walk in. Spartans win. Touchdown, MSU!
Hello and welcome to week 4 of your Spartan Report. My name is Dennis Zurbano. Thank you for tuning in today. Well, that clip can only mean one thing. It's Notre Dame week. But before I break down the weekend matchup versus the Irish, let's look at last Saturday's impressive win over Youngstown State.
The Spartans didn't waste any time scoring. Newly dubbed starter Connor Cook rolls out and throws it to Andre Sims Jr. for the score. Stayed up 14-3 at that point. The Spartans offense wasn't done there. Cook fakes the end around and finds a wide open Trayvon Pendleton for the touchdown. And the route was on. MSU would lead 21-3 after the first quarter. Second quarter now, Cook finds McGarrett Kings Jr. over the middle for the deep strike. Cook would finish the day with 202 passing yards and 4 touchdowns. MSU would lead at the half 35-10. The Spartans were also impressive on the ground. Nick Hill finds the hole and rumbles 35 yards for the score. Hill led all Spartans with 83 rushing yards. Jeremy Langford formed the other half of the rushing attack. He finds the end zone for his second score of the day as the Spartans go on to win 55-17.
From my view, the Spartans put together a complete effort last Saturday versus Youngstown State. Both the offense and defense looked very sharp. But of course, the headline was the emergence of a starting quarterback. It's very obvious that Mark D'Antonio trusts Connor Cook to lead his offense.
Connor Cook has always been a guy that moves forward, I feel. He's not going to back down from a challenge. He's pretty light in terms of how he approaches things. You know, he's going to do the best he can, have fun with it. And I think that's good right now for his mindset as he goes to his first big away game and marquee football game.
Cook hopes to turn more heads with his offensive improvements. But a much tougher opponent awaits on Saturday. The Spartans will face 22nd ranked Notre Dame. It's not only their first ranked opponent of the season, it's also their first road game of the year. The Irish should provide a solid test for the Spartans before Big Ten play starts. Here are my 3 keys to the game in South Bend. The Spartans are an even 3-3 versus Notre Dame since Mark D'Antonio arrived in East Lansing. However, the last 2 years have been dominated by the Irish. In the last 2 meetings, the Golden Domers have outscored the Spartans 51-16. Michigan State has to continue its offensive improvement if it hopes to get the W on Saturday. But if the offense wants to put up points, the MSU running backs will have to produce great numbers. In their last 2 losses to the Irish, the Spartans have only amassed 79 yards on the ground. Let me repeat that. 79 yards rushing in 2 games versus Notre Dame. This year, the MSU running backs will face 2 potential first-round draft picks in Stephon Tuitt and Louis Nix, who anchored Notre Dame's solid defensive line. The Spartan O-line will have to control Tuitt and Nix to open up the field for Nick Hill and Jeremy Langford. Lastly, this year's Notre Dame offense is far less potent than the 2012 version. Irish head coach Brian Kelly loves to run a physical rushing attack, but this year's offense has been less than impressive. Notre Dame comes into this week's game with the 119th ranked rushing offense, only averaging 125 yards per game. Needless to say, the Irish depend heavily on the arm of senior quarterback Tommy Rees. The top-ranked Spartan defense will need to put pressure on Rees to force him into some bad throws, which hopefully will mean more points scored by the defense. So that brings me to prediction time. I hate to say this, but I have Notre Dame winning this one 24-17. The game will come down to MSU's inability to run the ball. Even with the production Hill and Langford have shown this season, I just don't see the MSU Spartans controlling the line of scrimmage when they have the ball. I hope I'm wrong. Remember, you can share your prediction or comment on mine in the comment section below or on Twitter using the handle @SpartanReport. Well, that wraps up the last non-conference edition of your Spartan Report. My name is Dennis Urbano. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I'll see you in 2 weeks for the start of Big Ten play. And as always, go green.